Okay, so it was question 3 that I've been asked about.
Yes.
Question 3.
Question 3. Okay, so we did do one of these. Hopefully this pen's going to work. No, it's not going to work. Oh. Okay, so would anyone like to talk us through this one to start with, or at least the first part of it, or how you would start it? Go on.
So, since it's y squared,
Yeah.
you would put the 3x plus 1 in brackets and then expand the brackets.
Okay, so it's a substitution to start
Yes.
with, which I think was all right with everyone. So we've got the x squared, but then we've got plus y squared, so that is 3x plus 1 squared equals 5. Which, when we expand, don't forget, is not 3x squared plus 1 squared. It's 3x plus 1 times 3x plus 1. Okay. And what method do you use for doing double brackets? FOIL. Okay. So I'm going to put my x squared, and then it's 3x times 3x is 9x squared plus 3x plus another 3x plus 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, which equals 5. I think some people kind of got a bit lost and were not writing everything down and forgot things and whatever. So then we collect like terms, so we end up with 10x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals 5. Alright, which is fine. We need, for a quadratic, we need it to be equal to 0, so subtract 5. So we've got 10x squared plus 6x. We're going to subtract 5 to make the 0, so we have to subtract 5. So it makes minus 4 equals 0. Okay? Now, what would you do at this stage? What are the options?
Put into the quadratic.
Use the quadratic formula, yeah.
Split the middle term.
You could try splitting the middle term, yeah.
Put it in
Put it in your calculator. Just use that as well. Okay. How? Should we do that? But you remember the formula. But let's, because you had your calculator, let's have a look. I need to find the right one. So. Right, so on our calculator, got this here. Does anyone remember how to do it? Go on then.
Control, I can't see.
It's there. That's the big screen. So this is just for the buttons.
You have to, yeah.
So we're in a document. Say that again.
Wait, what? Oh, do you want me to do that first?
Just go to the.
Well, I've got this. It's equal to 0. How do we use our calculator
Just go
to?
to the.
You have to do one of them plus and one of them minus to get you 2 different answers. That makes sense.
Okay.
What is she talking? B plus.
Oh, so but you're talking using the formula, aren't you? But do you remember how to use the equation solver on your calculator?
Yes.
Go on then, Tamir.
I did the formula.
Okay, you did the formula.
Can I take
But-
a stab?
Go on, take a
Okay,
step.
menu.
Menu.
You have to go to add
Calculator.
So, all right. So, what do you want? Add calculator.
There's no option.
And menu. Algebra. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong thing. That. So, you're in calculator. Menu. Algebra. Solve system of linear equations.
Yes.
That's what the no, I think it's polynomial.
No, it's not linear, is it? Because it's a quadratic.
Polynomial. Oh yeah. And then it's real roots.
Real roots, find roots, yeah. Find roots or real roots.
And then you take
I totally forgot.
You get full marks.
See, I think that's why I got confused.
But we haven't got anything yet. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess so. The
I
Type in. So you're going to 10 x squared.
I'm confused. I cannot see you.
It's here.
I'm talking about
Well,
I'm
it's
saying a blind is delayed.
plus 6x
Sorry. Some people have like.
minus 4. You think if we press enter, variable not defined.
Oh.
So that's not what we did.
I think we have to do the other one.
Are we solving some linear equations or no?
Right. The thing is, what you said before, solving the linear equations one would be right if we had both linear equations, but we are not now, because we've done our substitution, we are not solving a system of linear equations. We now have one quadratic equation equaling zero that we are trying to solve. Okay? And we do have a way of solving that, if anyone remembers how to do it.
So we can't solve that using the formula?
You can, yes. I've just given. All right. Why learn to ride a 150 when you've got a 50 already?
What?
Or why bother doing anything different? That's basically a question. You can use
so
the
there's
formula.
another way to do it.
It's just a different way, isn't it?
Sorry, I was confused.
You can use the formula. People tried using the formula and made a mistake. Remember I said a lot of this test was about use your calculator, get the correct answers, and then go back and do the working. Some of you didn't do that and got lots of incorrect answers. Why would you do that? You know, why, when your calculator will give you the right answers, then go back and do the working. Some of you definitely got answers that could not be right, yet you left it, so you did not check using your calculator, right? So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a moment on your calculator, try and remember how to solve a quadratic. See, some of you haven't even got your calculator out when we're doing this. Okay? I'll let you... Okay, a couple of people seem to have it now, so let's do...
Shall we write this down?
If you feel it. Yeah.
That's good.
So we're going to, which one do we use? Polynomial tools. So we get this,
Oh my god.
Yes.
we get this one up now, okay? Degree would be
2.
2. The roots are real. That just means they're on the number line, real numbers. Clicking OK.
Yes.
Right. A would be
Tail.
10. B would be, so A1 would be 6. And the third one would be
-4.
-4. So I'm going to use the correct button, -4. Click OK. And hopefully
Enter.
How did you guys get
click enter, and I get my answers.
looking for the best?
Now that, okay, so I've got -1, sorry, -1 and what do we have? 2 over 5. So this is where we've got to make sure we've got the right thing. So x would be -1 and x would be 2 over 5. Now, we have to be careful because in the answers down here, you had to really think about what you were working out, because in the answer spaces, it's got 2 possible answers here. So x would be -1 or 2 over 5, so that it has to be in those 2 spaces. We haven't worked out the y value yet. Okay?
Do you put -4? Did you put
-4, yes. Now we still have to work out y. So what are the y values?
Substitute the x's.
Yeah, so we've got to do it twice now because we've got 2 x values. Which one would you substitute into?
I would go
Y
with
equals, the easy one. The one that tells me y equals 3x plus 1. So I've got when x is -1 and I've got when x is 2 over 5. So 3 times -1 plus 1, or 3 times 2 over 5 plus 1. They are going to give me my 2 y values. So 3 times -1 is?
-3.
Negative 3 plus 1 is minus 2. So that would be my y value there. Okay. 3 times 2 over 5.
The answer's 11.
3 times 2 over 5.
6 over 5.
6 over 5.
Plus
3
1.
2/5. 6 2. Plus 1. How do you do that?
Calculator.
You can use your calculator, but
11 over
hopefully we'll have a
5.
better understanding. How do we get from 6 over 5 plus 1 makes 11 over 5? How do you do it? How do you add your fractions? You all know how to do this. You've done it lots of times. Or you should do. You may have forgotten, I guess.
Well, wouldn't you have to stick the... Wait, is it a mixed number? Why? Is it a
Why?
mixed number?
Yeah.
No idea. Okay. When you add fractions, there is one way to think of this. 6 over 5, could you write that as a mixed number?
Yes, you can.
What would it be?
It would be
1 and
1/5.
plus 1 would make 2 and 2, 1/5. Okay, so that is one possible answer if you wanted to do it like that. Alright?
Yeah.
2 and 1/5, that will do. Right? But the other question is, let's do an alternative version. 6 over 5 plus, well, 1. Well, I've got 6/5 and I want to add some fifths. So 1 is how many fifths?
5.
5. So
That's
5/5.
Got you.
So 6/5 plus 5/5
It's
makes
11/5.
11/5.
I see.
So either of those options could go here.
This rings many bells.
Okay? But yes, of course, you could have used the formula. Okay? If you want to use the formula, no problem. But I thought, since we're having a bit of a push on using your calculator for things like this, we'd make sure we've done. Okay? Because of the comment we've just made, at this stage here, we said, what are the y values? And we said immediately, well, let's use y equals 3x plus 1. It's just easier. However, normally we would say that we could use either of the two. However, in this case, we can't. Because when Leah tried, which was good, sticking the negative 1 into x squared plus y squared equals 5. She put the minus 1 in, so minus 1 squared plus y squared equals 5, which is 1 plus y squared is 5, which then gives me y squared is 4, and then y is the square root of 4, which everyone would say is 2. But we actually want negative 2. There is something missing there because the square root of 4 is actually 2 and negative 2. So that gives me the negative 2. But what about this y equals 2? What's the problem? Well, the problem is when you have a quadratic x squared, for instance, it will have 2 possible values. Okay? So x squared plus y. Anyone know what this would actually give you if you drew the graph?
A straight line.
No.
A curved line.
It would a very specific curve actually.
Like this.
It would actually be a circle. It will be a circle. Okay? X squared plus y squared equals something would give you a circle. If you put it in your calculator, it will only give you half a circle because it doesn't do the negative options. But if we were going to draw it, it will give you an entire circle. But the y equals 3x plus 1 that we ought to be considering as well, remembering what we're trying to find. We are trying to find where if we have, okay, and a line that goes through it, we're trying to find the one place where it crosses. Alright? Does that make sense? So therefore, this one here can only use one of those two values, whereas the x squared plus y squared can use both. Does that make sense? So we did have to put it in the y equals 3x1 plus equation so that we find the one that one goes through. Whereas the other one has two options, but the straight line only has one of them. All right? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why it was important that we put it back into the y equals 3x plus 1 now. Okay, so looking at question 5, the diagram shows the graphs half x plus 2 and 2y plus 3x equals 12. Use the diagram to solve the simultaneous. That was easy, no?
How did I even get that?
It's just this one, that point here. So 2, 3. Simple as that. 2, 3. So if you did anything else than that, you've wasted time. Okay? You may have still got the right answers for your 1 mark, but if you did 5 minutes, you just used time instead. Okay, but then it says find an equation of the straight line which is parallel. Now, some of you I did spot, because this was from this particular one single part was from the previous assessment, the previous topic.
Ready?
Linear equations, gradients, perpendicular parallel lines and things. Now some people I did notice were still making the same mistakes that they made in their previous topic assignment and assessment, and you're still making that mistake, which suggests that even though we're doing all this review, you aren't. You know, we need to sort these problems out. Now, most of you went parallel, okay, that would mean the gradient is the same. So we should start with y equals a half x. So if you've got half x, that's one of those 2 marks.
Yes.
And then it goes through point 0,4. So that means 0,4 is where it crosses the y-axis.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's half x plus 4. Simple as that. Okay? Now, the one mistake I did see that was made previously, and I'm going to stop allowing anything, is this.
Wait, what?
Not put in the x.
You seriously get a full mark taken off just for not
Yes,
doing that?
because it's not that is not a correct equation with x in. That itself, that is y equals 4.5 and would be a line that goes straight across. It's not. Okay, so that would not be parallel to that. It has to have the x in. Kept on telling you.
Yes, babe.
Right? But yeah, so that was a recap from previous ones. I thought about taking that out, and then I thought, no, actually, it'd be nice to see whether you've remembered that.